Alrighty. Alrighty. This game doesn't have music, does it? What can I play in the background? What can I play in the background for this game that does not appear to have music? Do you think I'll get a copyright strike if I play the Tales of Luminaria soundtrack? Hi, Momo. Ah, screw it. What's the worst they can do to me? What else would work then? Pokemon Conquest, maybe? Pokemon Ranger? You know what? Let's just go with it. If the VOD gets nuked, the VOD gets nuked. Alright, and return to the game. So here we are. Cute little monkey thing. Baby dragon. Also, it is your dictator, if you want me to play any other music. Achievements. There are quite a few of these. Why would I want to do that? Voices are usually good. Oh, this is just a novel. Okay, sure. I should have brought more water for this stream. So yeah, if you want me to, if you want to hear my voice over the Luminaria OST, this is what we're doing tonight. Hang on, let me just... Okay. I wasn't sure if it was like a visual novel or like a novel, you know? Okay. Chapter 1, The Lost Academy. You push yourself out the window of an ancient classroom, clutching a musty tome of Vivomancy magic, and land with a roll on the cobblestone path below. Above you, it seems to be night, and you're momentarily confused. How are you seeing stars, when stars have been obscured by clouds for over 2,000 years? But then you realize the twinkling lights must be flecks of quartz in the rocky ceiling above, reflecting the light of the magical street lamps below. Those street lamps continued to shine even when the neighbor's magic pulled this academy underground. They shun underground while, above ground, Abraxas walked the earth and declared that magic was forbidden. They illuminated this ancient place of learning, while everywhere else, wizards were put to the sword. You still can't believe your luck in finding this academy before the church did. When you and Tal began following her bounty, a great burrowing worm, you had no idea it would burrow all the way to this sunken academy and its lost buried treasures. Tal slew the worm, and its final thrashes collapsed the tunnel behind you. But apparently not before an inquisitor followed you inside as well. He must have been shadowing you until you got your hands on this tome of magic, whereupon he shouted that you were under arrest. And here you are, more or less. You have no idea how the Inquisitor found you in the first place. Sometimes the Church has an uncanny knack for knowing things. You're not a wizard yet, but you're not sure the Inquisitor cares about this technicality. He probably wants you dead. Tal prepares to jump from the same second-floor window you did. Her eyes move to her eye patch, as if she's worried she'll misjudge the distance. She hesitates a moment too long, and the Inquisitor's crossbow bolt lodges itself in her leg. Tal grunts in pain, leaps forward with her good leg, and lands ungracefully, faltering because of the wound. "Are you all right?" you ask her. "Meh." Gritting her teeth, Tal jerks the bolt out from between the pieces of her black leather armor, ignoring the trickle of blood that results. "I'm fine, but I might have a little trouble climbing up to that open window over there, which is too bad because it seems like our best escape route." She nods to the tome in your hands. "Anything in there that can help?" "I'm certain of it," you say eagerly. You open up Praefecta Vivomancia, or Introduction to Vivomancy, the tome that you managed to peruse a bit before the Inquisitor showed up. You recall the warning in the book's preface: the magic of life may have unintended consequences. Hi, Sunaj. It's just gonna be a reading stream. So, yeah. Okay, so we can heal Tal's leg, sprout wings, because something's glittering, or part the wall of the building next to us, dash inside and reseal the wall. Okay, I mean, I can't say no to wings. Although, wait, hold on. Mechanically, these appear to be back wings, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to also carry Tal. Let's just say that I'm carrying her in my legs. You know, it works. It works. Crow mode activate. Sprout wings and carry Tal to a high dorm window where something's glittering. "I think I can grow wings and carry you," you tell Tal. "One moment." Really? Tal says, clearly surprised you could have learned to do such a thing in so short a time. But you concentrate instead on the music of nature, splaying your fingers toward the ground and willing the power of life to connect through you, to flow through you. The smell of pine needles fills the air as a shaft of light connects your hand to the ground. In the light, you can see tiny living motes wriggling their way up toward your hand. Your hand begins to glow red, and you urge its warmth to spread up your back and behind your shoulder blades, creating an expectant tingling. You quickly flip to the page of your tome where you read about this transformation spell, then mutter the ancient words, "Aviana aroba volanta pluma." Okay, These appear to be backbird wings. Not a fan. Wait, Momo, what are... Momo, you would have a breakdown at multiple points partway through. I'm not sure that would make a coherent streaming experience. You can try it, but I think that's more of a pre-recorded setting type thing. I'm just looking out for you. Feather. Why did it have to be feathered? Immense pain courses through your back as two giant, feathery wings erupt from behind your shoulder blades. You feel vaguely queasy as the spell cannibalizes your bones and hair to create these new appendages. With the wings fully extended, the transformation ends. Tal can hardly contain her astonishment. Trying to flap the wings feels a little like trying to wiggle your ears when you don't know how. But you get the wings when you get the wings to move, you're surprised at the force with which you are lifted. Your body is much lighter now. Experimentally, you flap a bit more and you're airborne. You giggle. You're flying. Gained Vivomancy. In the future, do I want to know when my skills change, as with this mention of gaining Vivomancy? Let's go with yes, because that's recommended. Hey, wait for me, Tal says, grabbing your leg. You quickly discover that while Tal is quite slender, she is nevertheless heavier than you expect. You flap your wings fruitlessly for a few moments, but the Vivomancy magic is still coursing through you, so you urge a little more mass to go into your wing muscles. And that's enough. You lift off, carrying Tal. A man in a white tabard appears in the window you came from, training a crossbow on Tal. She raises an arm to guard her face. The Inquisitor fires, and the bolt ricochets off Tal's bracer. Before the man can reload, you and Tal land inside the ancient dorm room. "Phew," Tal says, and when you turn to look around, she gets a mouthful of wing. "Okay, maybe you could get rid of the giant wings now? I can't even see what's in here." Somewhat reluctantly, you will your transformation to reverse itself. It's less painful this time around, or perhaps you've just acclimated to it. But it must have appeared painful because Tal looks at you in concern. "Are you all right?" she says. "Fine," you say, panting. You think you somehow lost some mass in the process of growing and losing the wings. Lost, fighting, gained, subtlety. "Brave of you to be your own test subject," Tal says. "I thought you told me earlier that Vivomancy could have unintended effects." Okay, so you know what? I can imagine that these are arm wings, so we're good actually. Everything's fine. Yay. Yeah, let's do this one. "I couldn't live with myself if I tried healing you and something went wrong." Tal grins. "Well, thanks." Increased Tal relationship. Increased empathy. You congratulate yourself on having read Tal properly. A normal wound is something she understands and can live with. The touch of Vivomancy, on the other hand, would probably spook her long after the wound had healed. Tal lights a torch. At first you think the dormitory room once belonged to a woman, judging from the rotting dresses in the closet, but the dresses seem large in the shoulders, and you recall tales of some men wearing feminine clothing in the ancient days. Regardless of biology, this student clearly put effort into looking feminine and fabulous, judging from the extensive cosmetics workstation. Maybe I should get ready for our date with the Inquisitor," Tal says, wryly regarding the cosmetic station. You aren't sure whether Tal has ever used cosmetics in her life. Her hair turned silvery gray at a young age, and she refused to dye it. She keeps it in a short ponytail, probably lopping it off with a sword when it gets too long. There is no such thing as a too long ponytail. Her pronounced cheekbones have a few scars from fights with monsters, but she has never applied any cosmetics to conceal them. You're not even certain a dress has ever graced her wiry frame. You know that Tal could put more effort into her appearance, but you're also fairly sure she doesn't give a damn. Maybe Tal figures her appearance is a lost cause since she has to wear an eye patch. You think she'd be wrong about that, but you two don't talk about it. Okay. Now, what about you? What do you look like? Bookish and spectacled, rugged and adventurous, a snappy dresser, popular about town. I dress all in black. We're going crow mode. Black time. You have always liked the idea of being one with the shadows. Gained subtlety. What does your outfit specifically look like? Oh, okay. So we can go with black robes for an ancient sorcerer, a long black dress that once belonged to an ancient sorceress, a black top hat, cane, formal tunic, breeches, and cape. A tight black outfit that covers even my head and mouth. You gotta respect the infection safety. Good for you. A black headkerchief, black mask, and black tunic and breeches. Yeah, long black dress. Ancient sorcerers. Let's go. You found your black dress among some ruined barracks for war mages and modified it to fit you. Its large collar flares into what look like black flames in the back, coming down into a severe V-neck in the front. The mermaid-style cut below the waist originally flared out into a long train, but you shortened it for practical reasons. The wearer of the dress was clearly intended to intimidate and destroy from afar, not run around the battlefield. Wearing the dress sometimes gives you the feeling you want to burn the world. Whenever you're angry, the dress seems to tingle in sympathy. And pronouns and nouns, yep, she, her. Yeah. In the dormitory room, your eye is drawn to the past student's bookshelf, the first thing the Church Inquisitor would destroy if he were left alone in the room. You scan the unintelligible titles of the volumes until one catches your eye. Introduction to Glamour. "What are you doing?" Tal says from the window. "He's climbing up. We should get out of here." Tal doesn't know much about magic. She doesn't know how rare this book is. You've never even found one introductory text about magic before, much less 2 in a day. It must be because this magic academy has never been discovered by the church. And while you could just grab the book and run, the magic of charming people may be exactly what you need right now. "Give me a moment," you say. "Try to delay him?" Tal makes an exasperated sound, but you ignore her and quickly skim the first chapter of the book. Glamour magic appears to work like vivomancy, but the power source is the self instead of nature. There appears to be only one spell in the book, a spell that makes a person incredibly charming and persuasive. Most of the book is dedicated to the exploration of the ethical issues and negative ramifications of this spell. Well, no time for that. Tal shouts a warning. You look up from your reading and see the Inquisitor leap into the room from the windowsill. Sword drawn, Tal warily circles the Inquisitor, who has drawn a mace. With your arms crossed on your chest, you draw power from within. You shine with a golden aura, and you smell something sweet, like cherry pie. Flautia omnes, cleus venenum. The Inquisitor seems unable to look away from you. Beneath his handlebar mustache, his mouth parts in awe. "Please don't try to harm us," you tell him, and he nods slightly. Gained glamour. You spare a glance for Tal. Though she had drawn her sword, she warily sheathes it now. "I am so sorry to intrude," says the Inquisitor. "If there is anything I can do to make it up to you." "Were you sent specifically to catch us?" you ask the Inquisitor. "And did you know about this place?" The Inquisitor shakes his head. "The Hierophant had a vision of you exploring this place and thought it was the beginning of something important. Nobody knew who you were. I was just told to try to uncover this old academy or wait for you to show up, whichever came first. I was digging for a month with no progress on the other side of the ridge until you showed up chasing that tunneling worm, so I appreciate the relief." His look grows darker. "But magic is forbidden. If the Hierophant knew you were a wizard, she'd have ordered your capture like anybody else." When Inquisitors capture magic users or shapeshifters, those people are typically never heard from again, and they were never heard from again. Yes, so true, bestie. Tales of reference. It's not, but whatever. Most people assume they're quietly executed. The Church's official line is that they will administer justice as is their duty to the kingdom, and the laws on the books certainly dictate death for wizards and shapeshifters. Hierophant Elizabeth is known to be quite by the book. If anything you've heard about her is true, you doubt she would make any kind of exception for you just because of an intriguing vision. But you decide to ask the Inquisitor's opinion. "If you did capture me, would I be executed?" you ask. "Inquisitors just deliver the wizards," the Inquisitor says. "But I think so." He doesn't know. Interesting. "Well, I have new instructions for you," you say. Oh god. Okay, so I can use him as like a little like human shield type thing, which seems useful. I could just send him away. Never report what he's seen here. Or I could tie him up. Or I can have him sit still so I can turn people into tortoises. I'm not doing that. He seems like a good fighter. I think he'll be fine against the monsters. Yeah. Look, he was trying to kill us. If we can get some utility out of him, I'm happy. Na, 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 na. Scout ahead, you tell the Inquisitor, gesturing to the room's door opposite the window. If you find any monsters, yell and hold the line for us. It shall be done, he says with a curt nod, and he dashes to the door, throws it open, and hurries out. Was that wise? Tal asks. How long will his enchantment last? You shrug. We'll find out. Increased calculation, increased optimism. As she speaks to you, you notice that Tal doesn't seem quite so strongly affected by the magic as the Inquisitor. Perhaps she has a stronger will. You read something about that briefly in the book, but whether it's because the Inquisitor has been taken care of or because of the magic, Tal is smiling more now. How do you feel about this attention? Okay, so... Interesting. This doesn't have anything to do with Tal. Yeah, let's go women. Women moment. Hashtag lesbian. Do I seem charming? You ask Tal. Attractive? Tal shakes her head as if to clear it. Yeah, whoa, sorry. Don't do that around the other ladies, alright? Not fair. Of course, you say. Ethics are for losers. God, I love Luminaria OST so much. It's so good. Why couldn't it be part of a real game? A finished game, I should say. It was a real game. It was a good game. Okay. You briefly search the dorm room you're in. You don't find much else of interest besides the clothing and some assorted devices in the students' drawers that you don't understand. But you notice that the students' sequined clothing seems to glow a little more brightly when you stand nearby, now that you have a glamour up. You think the students' clothes are enchanted to heighten the effects of glamour magic. Now that you're no longer in danger, you have time to change into some new clothing. The tunics seem to have auras as strong as the dresses, and they look a little more practical for adventuring. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a good idea. Bulky and conspicuous. So I could either take it and not wear it immediately, or put it on now, or just not, you know? I don't want to hoard. This isn't D&D. So yeah, bulky and conspicuous magical items I won't use? No thanks. We're sticking with our rage sorceress dress. You don't see any reason to take clothing you'll never wear. After all, you'll need to hide any magical items you take from your parents. Increased caution. From somewhat far away, you hear a terrified yell from the Inquisitor. You cast an inquiring look at Tal. Guess there's a monster nearby, Tal says. She doesn't seem particularly moved to come to the Inquisitor's aid. Okay, so we can either go toward the Inquisitor because of ethics, or go to the Inquisitor so that he can help fight the monster, or let the Inquisitor do whatever, you know, and explore more rooms. Or just let him die. Let's do this one. Let's boost that calculating. Let's get 3 of them. I don't care much for our Inquisitor friend, you say, but having 3 people on our side against whatever kind of monster it is sounds like an easier fight than going up against it just you and me. Don't split the party, goes the old adventuring advice. Increased calculation. He's not in our party, Tal says flatly. But I see what you mean. Okay, let's hurry. You hurry out of the dorm room, into a hallway with identical doors leading to more such rooms. The magical lights in the corridor are dim with dust but still functional. At the end of the hallway is a spiral stairway leading down. You're fairly certain that's where the yell came from. You hurry down the stairs. Looking down the corridor ahead of you, You are surprised to see a six-legged black horse of the kind called a nightmare. Oh, yeah, new Sawhill stream. We're reading. It's a fun one. And, yeah, hopefully I don't get copyright strike, but we'll see. Okay, so basically what's happened, we're in a society that has criminalized magic, and us and our friend Tall have just come into the possession of magic books, and so there was an inquisitor who's trying to like capture us and like basically send us to be executed. And then we used a glamour to make him like us, and so now he's fighting a monster for us. Yeah. And we're gonna go help him out. Okay. You are surprised to see a six-legged black horse. Oh. Oh, that's horrible. It's fine. You'll figure out the plot summary. What was the ad? A six-legged black horse of the kind called a nightmare. It gives a startled whinny that causes it to breathe a gout of flame, and it turns toward you. You have no idea how this monster could have gotten down here. Its kind must have been breeding in this sunken academy for 2,000 years. The ancients once rode them as steeds, luxury mounts for nobles who had the time to travel by land instead of airship. Their fire-breathing was once a gentle flame that gave natural light at night, an ability that somehow got control over generations. The last time a wild one came near your town of Acrition, 3 houses burned down. The nightmare is fighting the Inquisitor, whose round-headed mace appears to do little good against the beast. The Inquisitor is bloody, singed, and marred with bite marks on his arms. Even now, you see him connect with a blow, only to have the nightmare chop down on his mace arm, eliciting a yell of pain. On the right side of the corridor are doors that probably lead to more dorm rooms. On the left side is some kind of stable, with black horse legs peeking out beneath the stall doors. What magic fed so many generations of nightmares, you wonder? At the end of the corridor, past the nightmare, is a door with an engraved plaque above it that reads, Biblo Voltus. The nightmare lowers its head and tenses, as if about to charge. Use a dictator to make me narrate? Just, sure. Why not? Yeah, it would. But also, like, I'm not really planning to do a career in voice acting or anything, so I don't know. The issue is that, like, if I don't finish the book, right, you would need to pick a story that I can do in 2 hours. Well, okay, that's issue 1. Issue 2 is I would be interacting with chat during it. Like, you can't use a dictator to make me only narrate the story like audiobook format. So yeah, not sure exactly how well it would work. The nightmare lowers its head and tenses, as if about to charge. So I can search the dorm rooms for another way around, or join the Inquisitor in hand-to-hand combat. Hold on, Barb, is that counting reading or speaking reading? Because those take different amounts of time. Alright, so I can search the rooms for another way around, or join the Inquisitor. Let's join him. Although, okay, alright, so let's see. So there's the nightmares. Yeah, the Inquisitor is not going to be able to beat the nightmare. And I don't want it coming up on our backs while we're exploring, so let's get rid of it. My heroes, the Inquisitor waves you and Tal over. I knew you would aid me in the fight. That's us, the thrilling heroes, Tal says. She slashes the nightmare's neck with her sword, spilling its dark blood. The black stallion lets out an unnatural screech. Pack tactics, everybody. Let's do this. What are pack tactics? You ask. Wolf pack tactics, Tal says, annoyed. Decreased Tal relationship. Surround it, hammer it when it's on someone else, go defensive when it's on you. Ah, you say. Tal may be annoyed, but you did just learn something. Gained fighting. You move to surround the beast. The nightmare turns to Tal, and you stab it in the side while the Inquisitor gives one of its hind legs a solid hit. Then the nightmare turns to you, and you dodge its flaming breath while Tal stabs it in the neck, and the Inquisitor lands an even more solid blow to a different leg. Despite her injury, Tal seems to be doing fine in making short work of the nightmare. In a short time, the beast collapses to the floor and dies. Pretty bold call to attack the thing hand to hand when you're such a newbie, Tal says to you. I'm a fast learner, you say. You have saved me, the Inquisitor tells you solemnly, the glamour apparently filling him with forgiveness for the danger you put him in. I am in your debt. What would you have of me next? You're not sure how much longer the glamour's effect will last. Okay, so we could either fight the other nightmares, swear him to secrecy, or turn him into a tortoise. Swearing him to secrecy won't work. Like, this glamour is not lasting forever. Maybe I should turn him into a tortoise. He did shoot Tal. And Tal seems to be perfectly able to take out nightmares, honestly. I think it's tortoise time. You flip through the Vivomancy book until you see a drawing of a tortoise, then skim the instructions. Seems easy enough. Drawing life energy from the nearby nightmares and food troughs, you point to the Inquisitor and chant, Morphus malleus factus Kellis. The Inquisitor is enveloped in glowing yellow bands of energy, and his skin begins to turn green as his whole body shakes. He lets out a yell as he contorts into the desired form. Yep, Tal says, slightly dismayed. The Inquisitor's clothing shreds as he becomes wide, hunches over, and sprouts a tortoise shell from his back. In a few moments, his transformation is complete. Okay, I'm making an executive decision. As a Marylander, I didn't turn him into a tortoise. I turned him into a terrapin. Okay. A terrapin as big as a man stands before you with a head that comes up to your chest. You suppose you didn't specify you wanted a small tortoise, a small terrapin. Further, something about the terrapin's jaw is odd. You think the Inquisitor's yelling may have kept the spell from fully transforming his face. At least you're learning a thing or two about transformation magic from all this. Gained Vivomancy. Why? The tortoise says slowly. It talks, Tal says. Great. That's for chasing us and shooting at us earlier, you tell the tortoise. Now go do something with your life. You point to the stairs. The tortoise bows his head and meekly makes his way to the stairs. It looks like it may take him a while to get there. You perform a brief search of the other nearby dorm rooms and find a ring that helps you blend in with your surroundings. Gained Subtlety, and a yearbook that may help you make sense of other rooms in this academy. Gained Ancient History. While you're searching, the glamour wears off and you feel sick to your stomach. This is rot, a reminder that it's dangerous to use too much glamour magic. When you emerge from the final dorm room, you see the Inquisitor tortoise is still making its way toward the stairs. Hearing you enter the hallway again, it turns to you. but with the glamour worn off, now there is a glint of hatred in its eyes. It slowly opens its mouth. I'll... Terrapin, not tortoise. Get... you... The tortoise says. Just... wait. It then turns back to its journey toward the stairs. Well, slow and steady wins the race, my friend. You tell it, and with a glance at Tull, who's definitely less amused than she should be, you proceed to the library. Increased humor. Increased calculation. Your hometown of Acrition has no library. In fact, you don't think there's a public library in the whole kingdom of Arinia. When you were young, the word library had a similar feel to the words hoard or utopia. A cache of books free for the taking was too good to be true. But now you are in a library and it is wonderful. The rows of books may well contain all the knowledge you have ever craved. The musty smell of the old books is intoxicating. And these are not just any books. Browsing the titles, it is clear that these are tomes of magic. Delicious, forbidden knowledge, ripe for the learning. The books glow slightly purple. You suspect this is an enchantment of negation that zaps dust and fungus before it can accrue. Thanks, Mother, you whisper. Your mother insisted on teaching you the language of the ancients herself when you were young, as her mother taught her, even though the family had never been nobility. You're not sure your mother would approve of the subject matter here, but you're grateful nonetheless. Looks like it's your lucky day, Tull murmurs, admiring the rows upon rows of books. Yours too, if you want, you say. And yeah, public libraries? In a kingdom? What even does public mean? The king is the kingdom. Ah. Not if you're suggesting learning magic, Tull says. You're already going a little crazy from it, and we haven't even gotten out of here yet. Mind if I take some books that just look expensive and mostly not cursed? Sure, you say, although you know whichever books she picks, it will pain you to find out that she has sold them. You hunt for primers. Oh, hi, Orlov. We're reading a book. A choose-your-own-adventure book. You hunt for primers in the schools of magic you don't have books for yet. Negation, divination, and automation. The hemispherical magical lights above you are dimmed by dust and long-dead bugs, making it somewhat difficult to read the titles. Hey, why is there a humor section in the middle of the other magic? Tull calls out from a different aisle. Is that a joke? I remember hearing somewhere that the ancients considered it a kind of magic. You call back. Don't remember why. Aspirationally. You also pick up a book called Megali Magia, Great Magic. The contents are unintelligible besides the introduction, which promises a cutting-edge look at how to perform incredibly powerful magic.